So guys, please subscribe to the channel and please smash the like button on this video. So guys, in this next news story, a gang who smuggled £42 million in cash out of the UK to Dubai as part of a money laundering operation to hide drug dealing profits have been convicted. The crew were discovered to be smuggling migrants into Britain and millions of pounds out of the country, believed to be profits from selling Class A drugs and the cash taken from refugees. The gang made hundreds of trips to the United Arab Emirates between 2017 and 2019, including over 50 trips to Dubai alone in 2017. Around £1.5 million was seized, leaving the UK, but flight analysis and cash declarations in Dubai suggested the group successfully transported far more. The same gang tried to smuggle 17 migrants, including 5 children and a pregnant woman, into the UK in 2019, and they were found hidden in the back of a van which was carrying tyres. Dutch police intercepted the van before it could reach a ferry at the Hook of Holland, the National Crime Agency said. After weeks of surveillance, officers pounced on the defendants to carry out dawn raids across West London, including the gang's ringleader Charan Singh, who's from Hounslow. NCA investigators proved Singh, who used to live in Dubai, paid for flights to Dubai for other gang members to carry the cash. During the first trial at Croydon Crown Court, 6 people, including Singh, were found guilty of money laundering offences. 2 of that 6 were also found guilty of facilitating illegal immigration. Another defendant only received an immigration charge. Midway through the second trial, 6 defendants changed their pleas to guilty for the money laundering offences, leading to reporting restrictions being lifted just the other week. A further 2 gang members pleaded guilty before the trial. Chris Hill, the NCA senior investigating officer, said, "This has been a long and complex investigation into an organised crime group involved in money laundering on a commercial scale and organised immigration crime." Over a 2-year period working together with the partners in the UK and abroad, NCA investigators were able to uncover the evidence to secure these convictions. This case demonstrates the continued commitment by the NCA to protect the public and target the criminal networks involved in both people smuggling and money laundering. He said, "We will continue to use the full range of tactics at our disposal to disrupt and dismantle them." Along with the 7 other defendants, Singh was found guilty of conspiracy to remove criminal property, which is obviously money laundering. So Valjit Singh, who's 34, from Hounslow, he was found guilty of conspiracy to remove criminal property, 4 counts of removing criminal property, but not guilty to 2 separate counts of removing criminal property. Swander Singh Dal, who's 37, from Hounslow, was found guilty of conspiracy to remove criminal property and conspiring to facilitate a breach of immigration law. Jaspir Singh Kapoor, who's 35, from West London, was found guilty of 2 counts of conspiracy to remove criminal property. Jaspir Singh Dal, who's 32, from Southall, was found guilty of conspiracy to remove criminal property. Diljan Singh Malhotra, who's 47, was cleared of 2 counts of conspiracy to remove criminal property, but found guilty of conspiracy to facilitate a breach of immigration law. There was a Mercy Adenis, was found guilty of conspiracy to facilitate a breach of immigration law, but this person absconded. And there was Surinder Vegadasalalam, who's 48, was found guilty of removing criminal property but cleared of 5 separate counts of removing criminal property, and all 16 defendants are due to be sentenced from September this year. So guys, in this next news story, a man who fatally stabbed his innocent friend after believing he had broken his mother's window has been jailed for life. Jamie Mitchell, who's 25, chased down 23-year-old Stephen Wilkinson on October the 4th last year after taking a kitchen knife from his mother's home. Although Stephen Wilkinson was not responsible for causing the damage, Mitchell saw him in the street and chased him down an alleyway near Jubilee Court in Buckley, cornering him and stabbing him once to the left side of the chest. Mr. Wilkinson had been cornered in the passageway last October and killed in a cowardly attack by an inadequate assailant, the judge said. The court heard that the wound was roughly 6 or 7 inches deep and pierced the victim's lung and heart. Mitchell returned home after the attack and told his mother he had done something bad before telling his girlfriend, which was the victim's sister, he had stabbed Stephen. Mitchell had rekindled a relationship with the victim's sister, and they had spent the whole day together, including at his mother's home in Buckley, where a window was smashed at the property Mold Crown Court heard. The prosecutor, Michael Jones KC, told the jury that her ex-partner was responsible for breaking the window and has already been prosecuted for the offence. Judge Reese Rowlands told him at Mold Crown Court he must have been absolutely terrified, running for his life, pursued by you. Consumed with anger, you were enjoying the sense of power you had at that stage. You clearly are a very dangerous individual, capable of the most extreme violence against another young man who had done nothing and possessed no threat to you. Speaking following the sentencing, Detective Superintendent Mark Pierce described it as a senseless murder. He said today's sentencing of Jamie Mitchell for the senseless murder of Stephen Wilkinson serves as a stark warning to anyone who carries knives in our streets. Anyone doing so will be arrested and will face a hefty prison sentence. Stephen's life was taken away in an act of madness by a man described by the trial judge as being inadequate and a coward. All our thoughts are now with Stephen's family and friends as they begin their journey moving forward. After the sentencing, the victim's mother broke down after reading a few sentences of giving a victim impact statement. She said she had gone out to look for her son and had to witness his gruesome, painful death. But when she said that sentence, she apologised to the court and said, "I can't carry on." So the prosecuting barrister, Jamie Coote, stepped in and continued reading a statement, which said paramedics spent 45 minutes trying to save Mr. Wilkinson, and his mother was nearby begging and pleading for them to save him. Her statement said that since the death of her son, she had taken a drink and has only just got her drinking under control. It's believed in March, she took an overdose of a prescribed medicine in an attempt to take her life. The attempt was unsuccessful and she woke up in her bedroom. She said in a statement that she's been in touch with the community mental health team but has been signed off work for 6 months and is struggling to pay for food or accommodation. So the judge jailed him for life with a minimum term of 22 years imprisonment before he will be eligible to apply for parole. So just want to say, rest in peace, Stephen Wilkinson, and my condolences go out to your family. And in a news story coming from Wales, a drugs gang have been jailed over a plot to flood the streets of South Wales with cocaine. Jahad Hussain, Tommy Brunnock, Mutaz Yafai, Parvez Uddin and Shahid Kahim were caught trafficking the Class A drug in Newport, Cardiff and Penarth. Some members of the Newport gang were also variously selling ecstasy, ketamine and cannabis before being smashed following a Gwent police investigation. The criminals' growing operation could bring in as much as £1,200 a day and had over 1,000 potential customers thanks to a profitable drugs line. The prosecutor, Nuhu Gorbia, said this is a case involving a police investigation called Operation Bentley into an organised crime group. It was headed by Jahad Hussain, who was using a dedicated drugs line. All the conspirators are from the Newport area and lived within close proximity to each other. They were operating a very busy drugs line. A substantial amount of cocaine, ketamine and cannabis were sold, mainly in Cardiff and the Penarth areas. Hussain was a disqualified driver and Yafai would drive him around in expensive vehicles and Yafai would use his own BMW to sell drugs. Hussain, Brunnock, Yafai, Uddin and Kahim pleaded guilty to conspiracy to supply Class A drugs and conspiracy to supply Class B drugs. Uddin and Kahim were caught by South Wales police officers in the Roath area of Cardiff last year with more than £20,000 worth of cocaine, ecstasy, ketamine and cannabis in a fake taxi. The duo were jailed for 32 months and 33 months respectively in August 2022 after they admitted drug trafficking offences. Christopher Rees KC for Hussain told Cardiff Crown Court his client was a man of previous good character with no convictions recorded against him. The defence for Brunnock said he was a vulnerable and immature young man who became involved after building up £2,500 drug debt. The mitigation for Yafai is solicitor said the defendant only made a few £1,000s from this. It's not the king's ransom, some may think. He was not a prime mover. The defence for Uddin said the defendant was acting under the direction of the owner of the drugs line. He is an intelligent man, he has a degree and he has a job in fraud analysis. The defence for Kahim said he was at the bottom of this conspiracy. The judge, Lucy Crowther, said this was a large street deal in County Lines operation. She said, "You, Mr. Hussain, were in charge of a lucrative operation, and you, Mr. Brunnock, provided practical and trusted help to Yapal and were involved in operating the drugs line. Mr. Yafai, you were involved in 2 types of Class A drugs, and she told Udin and Kahim you were the drivers. So Hussein was jailed for 6 years, Brunnock was locked up for 3 years and 8 months, and Yafai was sent to prison for 3 years and 4 months. Udin and Kahim will have to serve custodial sentences of 6 months and 5 months respectively on top of their current jail terms, and all defendants are set to face a proceeds of crime hearing in August. Number of news stories coming out from the streets of the UK. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.